Alright, so I'll start by saying that totally spaced filming an introduction and an ending. So the beginning and end of this video is going to be extremely abrupt, and I sincerely apologize for that. In this video, we are building a shadow box fence. Luckily, the older old man has already laid out the lines for us. The straight lines that we will measure off of.
This is me from the future. I went back in time to edit this and take out the part where I said that you can put the posts right up against the line, because that's wrong. You can't do that. I also changed some other parts. Soon, at some point, we will get back to the present tense me talking. Hold on. It'll come. There we go.
It is much easier to use an auger with an engine on it rather than a postal digger. First, we were using the tractor because the younger old man did not bring the auger yet. He was still doing paperwork or something like that at home. Once he got there, we stopped using the tractor and used the hand auger, which was nice. Got it done pretty quickly. You're going to want to make sure that these posts are plumb. Definitely easier to do with two people. Also, the holes need to be technically 30 inches deep. If you're doing it for someone else, definitely 30 inches deep. If you're doing it for yourself and it's just a fence, as long as it's close, it's realistically going to be fine, but I think code is 30 inches deep. Could be wrong about that. What we do is, after we put the post in, we put concrete in, put a little bit of water, put more concrete in, put a little bit of water. You can pre-mix the concrete if you're scared, for the most part, as long as you don't put in way too much water or way too little water. It's going to be fine. You have quite a bit of leeway there. We've been doing it for years, so we have got the ratio down pat pretty well without having to, mix all of it up in a wheelbarrow first. This last post is giving us a lot of issues. It was just really hard to place, so you got to see my dad twerk for, in real time, like half an hour, but I guess in the video it was only like 30 seconds. Alright, so here we are placing 2x4s in between the 4x4s, and this is what we are going to nail the cedar fencing onto. We had measured out the distance from the bottom and the top to place all of these 2x4s before we put them in there. It just makes it look a little bit nicer whenever you're looking through the fence. So you want to do that. You just want them to be consistent, the same height all the way across. Grandpa is taking a saw and cutting off the top of the cedar posts so they won't be visible above the fencing anymore. He marks, the four corners with a square so he can cut off of each side and make sure that's a nice smooth cut. We did not use galvanized nails so they can rust over time. So that is why I am screwing in all of these boards after they've been nailed. Just so that they are held together with something galvanized too. Realistically, it probably would have been fine, but we, want it to last, so we went ahead and put the screws in. If you're using galvanized nails, though, you don't have to screw it. Here you can see he's putting the fencing up, starting to. He set the height, and then the white line on top is the height where he's putting all of the other fencing at too, to keep it nice and consistent. Now we had already gone through here and marked these, I believe, 7 inches for this particular type of fencing. It might be different depending on what you get, but these are all 7 inches apart. And it gives like an 1/8 and an inch gap between the boards, and then we go and we check it with a level 2 and hit the second nail. Normally you would want 2 nails for each fencing for each one of the 3 2x4s behind it, but we didn't have many nails, and the older old man, which is my grandfather, he offered to just go run to the hardware store later and finish up the nailing himself, so that's why we're only putting 2 nails in. See, setting the line again, setting up the fence posts again, getting them ready to make it easier to put them on, and then away we go. I also found a baby, what is it? A baby praying mantis that I showed them. Here's me doing nothing because there's nothing for me to do except hand him the level back and forth. Eventually, at some point, I take over, but I'm slow, so he continues doing it. For the most part, I try to keep myself busy, but we were just working at my grandfather's house today, so. My grandpa is measuring the fronts, making sure everything is good, and he's just getting them ready for fencing. He's cutting a couple. Well, there's a piece in that corner that needs to be cut to fit real nice, and where that space is, where there's no 2x4s between them, those are 2 4x6s, and a gate is going there. So I don't know if you noticed or not, but my father stopped recording before the front of the fence was completely finished. But yeah, this is just about wraps up the video. Here's the completed thing. Before you ask, yes, the back will not get fencing. It stays open like this. They really just wanted, a little bit of a privacy fence to separate them. Alright guys, see you later.